Your morning coffee is already doing something remarkable for your body. Multiple large-scale studies have associated regular coffee consumption with reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, improved cardiovascular markers, and better cognitive function over time. But what if that same cup of coffee, the one you drink every single morning without thinking twice about it, could be transformed into something dramatically more powerful with the addition of a single inexpensive powder? What if the supplement industry has been charging you $30, $40, $50 a month for benefits you could achieve with something that costs less than $1 a day stirred directly into the cup already sitting on your kitchen counter? That is exactly what I am going to show you today. 5 specific powders, ranked from effective to extraordinary, that when combined with your morning coffee create measurable changes in brain function, blood sugar stability, inflammation levels, and cellular aging. And the research behind the top powder on this list produced results so significant that the scientists running the study repeated the experiment multiple times because they initially believed their instruments were malfunctioning. I am Dr. Charles Anderson, and before we begin, I want you to do something for me. Leave a comment below with your age and where you are watching from. What I'm about to share has different implications depending on your decade of life, and understanding this audience helps me tailor the information that matters most to you. Now let us start at number 5 and work our way up to the most powerful addition you can make to your morning routine. Number 5 is raw cacao powder. And I need to be very specific here because I am not talking about the sweetened chocolate drink mix you might have in your pantry. I am talking about raw, unprocessed, unsweetened cacao powder, the kind that comes from minimally processed cacao beans and retains the full spectrum of its natural compounds. Here's what makes cacao interesting for your coffee. When researchers studied what happens when cacao compounds interact with caffeine in the body, they discovered something unexpected. The combination altered the way the body metabolizes caffeine. Instead of the familiar spike and crash pattern that regular coffee produces, the combination created what scientists described as a sustained energy curve. Steady, focused alertness, lasting 6 to 8 hours instead of the typical 2 to 3 hour buzz, followed by that afternoon collapse that sends most people reaching for a second or third cup. The mechanism involves compounds called flavonols, particularly one called epicatechin. These molecules are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, meaning they gain direct access to your brain tissue. Once there, they stimulate the production of a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your neurons. It promotes the growth and maintenance of brain cells and supports the formation of new neural connections.
Research published in major neuroscience journals has demonstrated that regular cacao consumption over several weeks improved memory test performance and increased blood flow to the hippocampus, the brain's primary memory processing center.
The antioxidant density of raw cacao is staggering. Its measured antioxidant activity exceeds that of blueberries by roughly 13 times. It is one of the most concentrated sources of protective plant compounds available in any food.
Here is how to use it properly. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw organic cacao powder to your coffee after it has cooled for approximately 2 minutes. The water temperature should be below 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Excessive heat destroys the delicate flavanol compounds that make this work. Use a small whisk or a milk frother to blend it thoroughly because it will not dissolve like instant cocoa. The taste is rich, slightly bitter, and genuinely pleasant once you adjust to it. The critical purchasing detail is to avoid Dutch processed or alkalized cacao. Those processing methods destroy up to 90% of the beneficial compounds. You want the label to say raw and organic with no additional processing terminology. Start with 1 teaspoon for the first week to let your body adapt to the theobromine content, which is a gentle natural stimulant found in cacao. Then increase to the full dose. Number 4 is Ceylon cinnamon, and this is where we move from general wellness into territory that has direct, measurable impact on metabolic health. A comprehensive analysis combining data from over 1,500 people with type 2 diabetes and prediabetes found that approximately half a teaspoon of cinnamon daily reduced fasting blood glucose by an average of 10 to 11 milligrams per deciliter. For someone actively managing blood sugar, that is a clinically meaningful reduction achieved by a spice that costs pennies per serving. But there is a critical safety distinction that most people are completely unaware of, and getting this wrong could actually damage your liver. The cinnamon sold in most grocery stores is cassia cinnamon. Cassia contains high concentrations of a compound called coumarin, which is documented in medical literature to cause liver toxicity when consumed in therapeutic quantities over extended periods. We are not talking about the occasional sprinkle on a dessert. We are talking about the daily medicinal doses required to achieve blood sugar benefits. At those quantities, cassia cinnamon poses a real and documented hepatic risk. Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes labeled as true cinnamon or cinnamomum verum, contains up to 1,200 times less coumarin than cassia. It is the only form safe for daily therapeutic use. It typically originates from Sri Lanka, has a lighter tan color compared to the reddish-brown of cassia, and costs moderately more, usually $8 to $15 for a container that lasts months. What makes adding it to coffee specifically powerful is a synergy that researchers have documented. The polyphenol compounds in coffee enhance the bioavailability of cinnamon's active ingredients. Studies have measured up to 300% better absorption of cinnamon's beneficial compounds when consumed alongside coffee compared to taking cinnamon supplements in isolation. You are getting dramatically more benefit from the same amount of cinnamon simply because coffee is the delivery vehicle. The preparation method matters. Add a quarter to half teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon powder directly to your coffee grounds before brewing. This allows the hot water during the brewing process to extract compounds that would not dissolve properly if you simply stirred the powder into an already brewed cup. For French press or pour-over methods, this works exceptionally well. For drip coffee makers, you can prepare a concentrated cinnamon extract by simmering 1 teaspoon in 8 ounces of water for 10 minutes, straining it, and adding the liquid to your brewed coffee. Research indicates that consuming cinnamon coffee 15 to 20 minutes before your first meal of the day maximizes its blood sugar stabilizing effects and can meaningfully reduce your glucose response to breakfast. If you take blood thinners or diabetes medications, consult your doctor before adding therapeutic doses, as cinnamon can interact with these prescriptions. Number 3 is lion's mane mushroom powder, and this is where we enter territory that represents some of the most exciting developments in nutritional neuroscience in the past decade. Lion's mane is not a psychoactive mushroom. It is a culinary and medicinal fungus with a long history of use in traditional medicine that is now receiving serious attention from Western researchers. The compounds that make lion's mane remarkable for brain health are called hericenones and erinacines. These molecules are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, and once inside your brain tissue, they appear to stimulate the production of nerve growth factor, a protein that supports the survival, growth, and maintenance of neurons. In a body over 60, where natural nerve growth factor production has declined, providing an external stimulus for its production represents a genuinely novel approach to supporting cognitive function. Japanese researchers conducted a study with older adults experiencing mild cognitive impairment. Participants received lion's mane powder daily for 16 weeks and demonstrated measurable improvements on standardized cognitive assessments. Brain imaging showed increased activity and connectivity in regions that typically decline with age. Research has also suggested that compounds in lion's mane may support the production of myelin, the protective insulation around nerve fibers that naturally degrades as we age. Thinning myelin contributes to slower processing speed, reduced memory retrieval, and the general cognitive slowing that most people attribute to inevitable aging, but which may, in part, be addressable. I want to give you an honest assessment here. A systematic review of human clinical trials has produced mixed results. Some studies show clear cognitive benefits. Others show no significant effect. The variation appears to depend heavily on the quality of the extract used, the dosage, and the duration of use. This is not a magic pill that produces instant brilliance. But the preliminary evidence suggests genuine potential for supporting brain health when used consistently over months. The preparation detail that determines whether this works or fails is the extraction method. You need dual extracted lion's mane powder, meaning it has been processed with both hot water and alcohol to capture both water-soluble and fat-soluble active compounds. Using simple dried mushroom powder that has not undergone proper extraction gives you perhaps 10% of the beneficial compounds. Add 1 to 2 teaspoons to your coffee after it has cooled to approximately 160 degrees. Higher temperatures can damage some of the more delicate compounds. The flavor is mildly savory with a slight sweetness that actually complements coffee's bitterness surprisingly well. Look for products that specify at least 30% polysaccharides and 15% beta-glucans on the label. These are the primary active compounds, and their percentages indicate extract quality. Most people report noticing improved mental clarity within 7 to 14 days, though the deeper structural benefits require 4 to 6 weeks of consistent daily use. Some individuals experience an adjustment period in the first week with slightly vivid dreams or mild spaciness as the brain adapts. This typically resolves quickly. Number 2 is creatine monohydrate. And I can already sense some of you thinking that creatine is a bodybuilding supplement with no relevance to a senior drinking morning coffee. That assumption is about to be completely dismantled. Your brain accounts for only 2% of your total body weight, but consumes 20% of your body's total energy output. It is the single most metabolically demanding organ you possess. And creatine is the rapid energy currency that your neurons depend on to fire accurately, process information, form memories, and maintain focus throughout the day. Researchers gave participants 5 grams of creatine daily for 6 weeks and measured cognitive function. The results showed improvements in working memory and processing speed. The effects were particularly pronounced in individuals whose dietary creatine intake was already low, which describes most seniors who have reduced their meat consumption over the years. When you add creatine to your coffee, something synergistic occurs. Caffeine increases cerebral blood flow by approximately 30%. This enhanced circulation may improve the uptake of creatine into brain tissue, while the creatine simultaneously maintains stable energy levels in your neurons, potentially reducing the cognitive crash that many people experience as caffeine wears off. Instead of the familiar pattern of sharp alertness followed by foggy exhaustion, you get sustained mental performance throughout the morning. Long-term observational research following adults over 60 has found associations between higher creatine levels and better maintained cognitive function across years of aging. Association does not prove causation, but the consistency of these findings across multiple studies is noteworthy. There is also emerging research suggesting creatine may support emotional resilience and mood stability, particularly in situations where brain energy metabolism is compromised, which becomes increasingly common after 60. The mechanism appears to involve supporting mitochondrial function in brain cells, essentially keeping the power plants of your neurons operating at higher efficiency. Practical usage is straightforward. 5 grams, approximately 1 level teaspoon, stirred thoroughly into hot coffee, where it suspends better than in cold liquids. Adding a splash of milk or cream improves both the texture and may enhance absorption. Unlike supplements that produce immediate noticeable effects, creatine works through tissue saturation. You need to take it daily for approximately 3 to 4 weeks to fully load your muscle and brain tissue. After that, the daily dose maintains those levels. Most people report improved mental endurance and reduced brain fog within 7 to 10 days, with full benefits apparent after 3 to 4 weeks of consistent use. You will likely gain 2 to 4 pounds in the first 2 weeks. This is not fat. It is water being drawn into your muscle cells alongside the creatine, which actually improves cellular hydration and function. Look for a product labeled CreaPure, which is a German-manufactured creatine monohydrate tested rigorously for purity. The safety profile is well established. Long-term studies show no adverse effects on kidney function in healthy individuals. If you have existing kidney disease, consult your doctor first. And now we arrive at number 1. The powder that I believe represents the single most impactful addition you can make to your morning coffee, with research suggesting benefits that span brain function, sleep quality, cardiovascular health, cellular repair, and biological aging itself. Number 1 is glycine powder. Glycine is the smallest and simplest amino acid in existence, so small that it can penetrate virtually every tissue in your body. And despite its simplicity, it is involved in over 100 critical biological processes. Your body can manufacture some glycine on its own, but research consistently suggests that modern diets leave us significantly deficient compared to what our ancestors consumed when they ate whole animals, including bones, connective tissue, organ meats, and collagen-rich cuts that have largely disappeared from contemporary plates. When you add glycine to your morning coffee, you are providing your body with a building block it needs for synthesizing glutathione, your master antioxidant that protects every cell in your body from oxidative damage. You are providing raw material for your body's own natural creatine production. You are supplying a key component of collagen, the structural protein that maintains your skin elasticity, joint flexibility, and blood vessel integrity. And you are activating cellular cleanup processes that researchers believe play a central role in healthy aging. An extended observational study following adults found that those with higher glycine intake maintained better health markers across multiple systems simultaneously. Research from major medical institutions has demonstrated that glycine supplementation improved arterial flexibility and vascular function within 12 weeks. Better arterial flexibility directly translates to improved cardiovascular health and more efficient circulation to every organ, including your brain. But here is what makes glycine in coffee uniquely valuable rather than just another supplement to swallow. Glycine produces what researchers describe as calm alertness. It enhances focus and cognitive clarity without any stimulant effect, while simultaneously reducing the anxiety and jitteriness that caffeine causes in many people, particularly those over 60 whose nervous systems have become more sensitive to stimulation. You get the mental sharpness of coffee without the nervous edge. For seniors who love coffee but have started avoiding it because it makes them feel wired or anxious, glycine may restore the ability to enjoy coffee comfortably. Sleep research has produced equally compelling findings. Participants who consumed glycine in the evening demonstrated improvements in sleep quality, spending more time in deep restorative sleep phases where the brain clears toxic proteins and consolidates memories. They woke feeling more refreshed despite identical hours of sleep. This makes glycine unique among the powders on this list in that it offers distinct benefits depending on when you consume it. Morning glycine in coffee supports alertness and cognitive function. Evening glycine in decaf coffee or tea supports deep sleep and overnight recovery. And there is one more property of glycine that I find genuinely delightful. It is the only amino acid that tastes naturally sweet. Adding it to your coffee provides subtle sweetness without a single gram of sugar or a single calorie from sweetener. For diabetics or anyone watching their blood sugar, this is a meaningful bonus. Your protocol is simple: 3 to 5 grams, approximately 1 teaspoon, dissolved directly into your hot coffee each morning. It dissolves instantly and completely, unlike some of the other powders on this list. For maximum benefit, many people add another 5 grams to an evening beverage for the sleep and recovery benefits. Start with 3 grams for the first week to assess tolerance, though glycine has an exceptionally clean safety profile, with studies using far higher doses without adverse effects. Purchase pharmaceutical-grade or USP-verified pure glycine powder with no fillers, flavors, or other amino acids blended in. Most people notice improved sleep quality within 3 days. Better skin and reduced joint discomfort typically become apparent within 2 weeks. The deeper effects on mental clarity, recovery, and cellular health generally emerge after 4 to 6 weeks of consistent daily use. Now, let me give you the framework for combining these powders effectively. You do not need to add all 5 to every cup. Start with 1. If blood sugar is your primary concern, Ceylon cinnamon is your entry point. If broad-spectrum health optimization is your goal, glycine provides the widest range of documented benefits. If cognitive function is your priority, lion's mane or creatine should be your focus. As your body adapts over 2 to 3 weeks, you can begin combining 2 or 3 powders. Preliminary research suggests that combining multiple compounds may produce synergistic effects beyond what you would expect from simply adding their individual benefits together. The mechanisms are still being studied, but the early data is promising. There are timing and interaction rules you must respect. Do not consume lion's mane or creatine within 2 hours of taking thyroid medication, as they may interfere with absorption. If you take blood thinners, consult your physician before adding cinnamon at therapeutic doses. And if you have kidney disease, get medical clearance before using creatine. Your morning coffee was already one of the best habits you had. Now you have the knowledge to make it work dramatically harder for your body without adding a single extra step to your routine. Same cup, same time, same kitchen counter. Just 1 teaspoon of the right powder stirred in, and the biology begins shifting in your favor. If this changed how you think about your morning routine, subscribe to this channel and share this with someone whose morning coffee could be doing more for them. Leave a comment telling me which powder you plan to try first. I read every response. I am Dr. Charles Anderson, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and enjoy that upgraded cup of coffee tomorrow morning.